So this is the podcast module, and it's located at this /district/podcasts. This is used to store all your audio recordings and all your media files, really. So let me go ahead and click Create New, and I'll call this my first podcast. And I'll give this a description of this is my first podcast. And you may have some sort of like recordings here from like different conventions or seminars, or if you have some sort of like daily announcements that you play on your intercom and you record them, you can place them in here as well. We also have syndication for this, which is you can place this on your district site as well as your elementary or your high schools. Then this media tab is actually where you upload the media. So let me go ahead and click Upload Media. And it just confirms that since this is a new podcast, I have to save the document first. That just keeps your work in line. So if something is to happen during this upload process, um, at least your current description and your title and everything will be saved. So we can click this little button here to upload one by one, or we can use the mass media uploader, which is a lot like the mass file uploader if you want to watch that video. But let me click this one here, and I have it in migrations. So I'll click training audio. And this is just an MP4 file that I want to upload here. I'll click upload, and there it is. So I'll keep that with how that is. Then we have resource files, which is any sort of file that you want to kind of attach to this podcast, but not necessarily upload to Cyberschool. Okay, on this right-hand side here, we have the settings that we always have, comment notification, author, a thumbnail to go along with this, publishing, which is when this will be published. If it's published in the future, you'll set a future date and time. Social networking, if you want to post to Facebook or anything like that. Then miscellaneous is the category. So you're free to categorize your podcast based on what type of podcast they are. And then feel free to watch the category manager video if you want to learn more about categorizing. But let me go ahead and click publish. And here's that default thumbnail for podcasts with the description there. And on the home page, I have a podcast widget, which is this one here. Let me refresh. And here it is, my first podcast by Alex Avila. This is my first podcast and the date. And if I click on that, I'm actually taken to this podcast page. And this is the actual MP4 of it that it is. So this is essentially how the podcast module works.